Hello humans, it's just Martine and welcome to the first full week of BOOKOPLATHON. My last BOOKOPLATHON vlog will be here in that I did the majority of my roles, but at the beginning of each and every BOOKOPLATHON vlog, I'm going to be doing an extra role. So let's jump straight into that to see what I'm adding to my TBR. In my last vlog, we ended on highest rated, so we're going from there. And it's a double. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. A small book, less than 300 pages. Okay, I can do that. Since it's a double, we'll go for another roll. Okay, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have another poll pick. All right, so for a poll pick, I sent a poll for people to vote on in the BOOKOPLATHON Discord, so I won't know that for a little while, but I wanted to talk you through what I'm hoping to accomplish this week. So in this vlog, I've got this nice stack of books here and some not pictured. I'm going to be continuing to read the feed. I'm like a little less than halfway through this, and if I read half an hour of it every day, which is my plan for the 75 hard reading challenge, like this is one of the books that I'm reading for that, then I should finish this in 6 days, which is within the confines of this week. So hoping to finish that this week. Then for the prompt Becca Rec, I'm reading A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. I started this last night, so I'm just at the beginning, hoping to accomplish that this week. Then for our new prompt of under 300 pages, I want to read The Black God's Drums. I picked this up at the library on Friday. It's just over 100 pages, so it's definitely a small book. The blurb on the front says, a sinewy mosaic of Haitian sky pirates, wily street urchins, and Orisha magic. And that's all I needed to know to pick this up. Absolutely, I want all of that. And then not pictured here for my chance card pick, I'm reading Flowers for Algernon. I'm like a fourth of the way into that, so hoping to finish that. And then stretch goal, if I could finish Only in America by, I think it's by Dominic Holland, for my prompt Letters, which I got the letter O for, I'd be thrilled. So those are the 4 books that I'm really got my sights set on this week. Good morning, it's Tuesday morning and I just got out of the gym and I'm headed to breakfast. Last night I was reading A Closed and Common Orbit, A Closed and Common Orbit for my Becca Rec prompt, and I'm like a quarter of the way into it, loving it so far. I really picked up last night, so big shout out to my friend Kayla for pushing me to read it by doing reading sprints last night. That's kind of where I am. It's Thursday evening. It's raining outside. The lightning is legitimately crazy, but I wanted to come on here and tell you that I finished a book. Not one for BOOKOPLATHON, but per my last vlog, that's not exactly uncommon around here. So I read Feed Them Silence, which was an arc from NetGalley, not coming out until 2023. Anyway, I read this. It's a short little book. It took me like 2 hours to read and I gave it 4 stars. It was so fascinating. The basic premise is that there's this scientist and she and her team are working on research that has them look into the minds of wolves. Not just like do imaging on them or something, but like they implanted something in this wolf's head and then there's something implanted in this researcher's head and then she goes in this contraption and suddenly she can like feel and experience everything the wolf is feeling and experiencing. So obviously this did not go as planned and like things got kind of messed up along the way. She also had like her own issues that definitely contributed to that, but those were all really interesting discussions. It also had like great discussions about the ethics of research and corporate funding versus government funding and all those things, which was quite interesting. It was also, when I wasn't expecting this, incredibly queer. There was one non-binary character on the research team, but it wasn't like drawn out. It was just like used they them pronouns for everything. Everybody referred to them that way, end of story. Like it wasn't a thing, it wasn't a plot device. It was just who the character was, which I loved. Then the main character, she was a lesbian, so she had a wife. They had problems in their marriage, but it wasn't about their sexuality. So it was just like a fantastic time with great representation and interesting concept. So I really enjoyed that. I'm like an hour away from finishing the feed. If it was any other week, I'd probably sit down and finish this right now. But my motivation for reading is so low right now. So I'm just gonna do my 30 minutes that I have to do for the reading challenge and then honestly probably watch Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. That's actually probably why, not because I don't have motivation to read, but because I have more motivation to watch Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So that's the update. Good morning, happy Friday. I can't believe I'm talking to you in the morning. It's exciting stuff. Anyway, this morning I finished The Feed by Nick Clark Window, and unfortunately I gave this 2 stars. This was just a lot slower and more of a survival story than I thought it was going to be. There was like one interesting twist, and the rest of it I was kind of just getting through. 30 minutes every day. It was kind of a slog, not gonna lie to you, but I am happy that I did read this, and this was for my first poll pick prompt. That's exciting. My reading plans for this week have gone a little astray, mainly because of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but this morning I finished the first season, and so I'm going to take a little break, a little pause. So hopefully this weekend I'll get some good reading done. Not sure I'll finish everything I said I would finish at the beginning of this vlog. Well, it's Saturday. The theme of this week's reads are ethics in science. I just finished Flowers for Algernon. I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I'm definitely glad that I got around to reading it. I think some of the impact was taken away by the fact that like I knew what was going to happen, but overall it's still like a fascinating concept to think about. I really should have more thoughts on this, but I don't. So that's the review. And that was for my chance card. I'm done that. I've made an impromptu decision to do reading sprints tonight, so Kayla is going to join me for those. My goal is to read this book and then make progress on this one. So, happy Sunday. It's just past 1 p.m. Last night I did reading sprints with Kayla and I read The Black God's Drums, which I'm giving 3 stars. In general, I feel like although I love a good novella, oftentimes action-packed novellas don't work as well for me because I like connecting to characters. So if it's a novella and the whole point is just connecting to the characters, it's fine. But when there's like a lot of plot, it takes away from it, if you will. I would be really interested to see this same like world, like fantasy world building, but in a longer book. I think it was definitely like interesting and based on a lot of like Black Gods, which was really cool, BIPOC author, and just like very interestingly written. So I'm glad that I picked this up and it was a quick read. So yeah, and today I'm really trying to finish A Closed and Common Orbit, I say as a person who hasn't read any of it yet today, but I've got my Pomodoro timer up and I'm ready to get some reading done. It's approaching 4 p.m. and just now I finished A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers, which I read for the prompt of Becca Rec. I gave this 4 stars. I did like it better than the first book just because I felt like the pacing at the end was better than the pacing at the end of the first book for a couple reasons. It was very different from the first book, but also very similar, if that makes sense. So like this series in general is very character driven and focuses a lot on like interspecies interaction, and this brought more of a discussion of artificial intelligence into that specific conversation, which I really enjoyed because I've talked about that in undergrad classes before. This was like a lot of stuff that I enjoy reading and thinking about, especially in sci-fi. I love how Becky Chambers describes different species and like creates them and realizes that being a different species doesn't just impact like the way you look or something, but also changes how you interact with phenomena like gender and intimacy. And so I always love reading how she does that in these books. This book specifically follows Lovelace, the AI from the ship in the first book, and then Pepper, the mechanical technician. It's a good time. And that's another Bookoplathon prompt crossed off. So the only book that I have left in my original rolls is the one for the prompt of Letter, and I should be finishing that in the next vlog. I have other books from subsequent rolls to read still, but making better progress on the Bookoplathon books than I was last week. I'm going to end this vlog here. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below what is one of your feel-good series to read, and subscribe for more reading, writing, and college lifestyle content. And until next time, bye humans, bye!